Well, sorry about that. That is a first one for me. I'm getting. Thank you everyone for that have been messaging, like Discord and people messaging me and all that. Um, yeah, where were we? Um, what happened to the first one? Yeah, that is the first time I've had YouTube shut down a stream. They're on to me. Maybe I should go dark. Uh, it came up. Funny enough, I get this warning. So it came up. Stream stopped due to copyright material or going against community guidelines. Um, okay, like I've like there's a thing called fair use, right? I don't want to bore you with the technicalities of YouTube and all of that. But there's a thing called fair use, and in news reporting and for educational material, you're allowed to use other people's videos, not in its entirety, but segments of it to report on news and all of that. The other thing as well is that I wasn't using audio on it. So maybe YouTube just doesn't like the fact that I'm spitting facts about why handguns shouldn't be banned in Canada. Who knows? So yes, if you're watching this back, we've already had a good, what was it, 50 minutes of a live stream. YouTube decided to go, nah fam, I'm gonna stop that right there. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to necessarily repeat or go over what was said prior, which was, I guess it's a shame. Basically, shooting in America, Canadian PM goes, oh, let's ban handguns when the shooting was done with an AR. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Don't think it's going to prevent a lot of crime or deaths, as we've seen in the UK when they ban handguns here. Crime skyrocketed. Anyway, that's a really brief recap on that one. Thank you everyone again for rejoining the stream and coming back. Yeah. So yeah, I don't actually know. After the stream, I will go back and have a look through and see if I can appeal it or why. So I usually at the start of the stream with the intro music. Now the intro music, I don't have the copyright for. It's through a music service that you pay for membership, and then you can use the music basically, and it's from there. But YouTube gets a little confused about that because it's like, well, you don't own this song, and it gives me a warning and it says, you know, we've detected copyright material. Your stream may be stopped. So it's either the subject matter, which I know is, you know, in terms of YouTube, it's like, oh, guns, or it may be the fact that I've used other videos in the stream. That's a point, because the video of Lena that I brought up, I don't think I'm muted. That might be it. It might be the PCC videos that I've been showing. So that's a shame. Might have to be more careful in future about what I show. But anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, anybody that previously liked the other stream, like, please like this one as well, because those analytics are gone. I can't even see. I generally can't even see in the back end. I can't see the stream. It's like YouTube has just deleted it. And I've had no. Maybe I'll get an email later on from them. Oh, here we go. Community guidelines removals. Well, it's like, so this is the note that I've got from YouTube. Important notifications: community guidelines removal. Your content, Canada bans handguns. Who's next? Was removed due to a violation of our community guidelines. Like, what? I didn't. What did I show? Like, what did I do? I was purely talking from a factual basis. Yes, I disagree. Let's there may be an issue with your content. This video has been removed. Begin your review to see it. I've never had to do this. This is like, it's a whole new review process. I'll do this. I'll do this later. But that really that really screws up anybody that may want to watch this stream afterwards. So thanks, YouTube, you bastards. You can't even talk about, like, what's this? We can't even talk about certain topics anymore without getting a slap on the wrist. Anyway, D-Dirty, intervention by AI or AH. I would imagine it's AI. The AI on YouTube now is incredibly good. So, you know, when we're uploading videos now, it will do a quick review, like instantaneous review of the content. And when you go for monetization, you get a whole list. You can actually like self-certify on monetization, and Firearms is a subject heading, and I always tick the same one, which is, you know, firearms used in a controlled, safe environment, and you know, no shenanigans going on here. It's all perfectly legit. Click that, and it still allows the video to be monetized. But some topics, some YouTube, some topics, some videos, YouTube goes, we don't like that. So you've told us it's good, we disagree, so we're going to demonetize the video, and then you have to review it. And it's literally you have to ask for it to be manually reviewed, and it's just a couple of buttons like this. What they're showing me now is, and I'm not going to show it because I don't know if necessarily YouTube would like me to show it. Oh, give me another reason to fucking take down the stream. But yeah, anyway, usually it's a very easy process, and most times, more often than not, they will monetize the video. Funnily enough, a more recent video, which was actually put out only a couple of days ago, the TACCOM video. Again, anybody within practical shooting, if you don't know who TACCOM is, then you've been living under a rock. So this video here, this is on the channel if you want to go and watch it. They wouldn't remonetize this, right? And I know the tetchy thing within like legal firearms is showing any sort of firearm modification or any sort of firearms sort of manufacturing. Now, you don't learn anything from this video. You could watch this video 100,000 times and not know how to make a gun, right? But he's talking, obviously it's a firearms manufacturer. I guess in some way it's promoting them, and that's what YouTube doesn't like. But anyway, if you want to see a talk with the founder and owner of TACCOM, go and check out this video after the stream. Again, just as a side note, a huge thank you to Tim for having us there. It was a fantastic opportunity, and you know, I said it at the time, like it was a real pinch myself moment being stood outside TACCOM. I don't have any here, but certainly back at the unit, at the Magload unit, there's loads of TACCOM stuff, because it was my first quad loader. It was my first shotgun loader, and I had many different variants of their loaders. And it's certainly a great starting point. The clip loaders, they're very hard to beat for the price. You can buy, I think they're like $35 for an 8 or a 12 up loader. So many people getting into the sport, their first caddies are TACCOM, and it was one of these moments. I'm stood outside the unit, and it was like, if someone had told me, like, you know, and it was getting on at that point, probably, like, when did I do? I don't know. It must have been like a good 8 years prior. If somebody has said the first time that I used a TACCOM that, you know, one day I'm going to be stood inside the place where they're made and I'm going to be speaking to the guy that made them, I'd have been like, like fuck off, you know. So that was an incredible experience. But yeah, YouTube really didn't like that video for some reason. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to rename the title of this stream, because obviously it's not going to be about Canada anymore. What should I call it? YouTube suck my dick. YouTube took down my stream. Well, welcome back. There we go. Suck a dick. I try so hard to keep within the community guidelines. I really do. And I mean, some of the stuff that we've discussed before, not even firearms related, and that's still up there online. That's quite oftenly referred to. Anyway, so yeah, I think what I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by YouTube. Yeah, so I'm contemplating whether to send in a little note to Hampshire to say whether or not I should, what's going on basically. It's how much longer is it going to be. Harry Johnson, my bad, just sent you a Facebook rather ranting message about snowflakes. I get a lot of those. But no, I appreciate it. Happy Hampshire are refusing to answer any correspondence regarding outstanding applications. See, mine's not outstanding though. Mine's in progress. Not to rub it in or anything. So maybe I have. Maybe. Oh, I'll see. You know, I'll ping them an email, and then I can show you guys next week what they come back with. Urban Space Monkey. So as I was just saying, my rifle club A made me a full member, and B have allowed a feasibility study into adding Action Air to the discipline roster to continue. Awesome. That's good news. Bad news with Action Air is the first level 3 of the year had to be cancelled because of low attendance. So I think that's fantastic news off the back of that, to hear another club wanting to start it up, and you know, more people taking part in it. Why, like, usually the level 3 Action Airs are chock-a-block, so I don't know why there just wasn't the interest. I think it did have quite a lot to do actually with the fact that there was a level 3 shotgun match up in Scotland scheduled at the same time. Like, really, you shouldn't be having level 3s scheduled on the same weekend, especially level 3s that are opposite ends of the country. You know, the Action Air level 3 was it's meant to be held in Winchester, which was like, I was for once I was looking forward to getting up at a normal time, hopping in my car and driving half an hour down the road. But no, due to lack of attendance, that was cancelled. The shotgun match is up in Dumfries. So yeah, we were always going to do the shotgun match, but we were gonna do both. We were able to do that, I guess, because one of the matches is right next to us, and then we can hightail it up to Scotland to do that. But you know, let's say you're in the Midlands, you know, and you've still got to travel. Oh, it's the same amount of driving, sort of, as long as it's short. But anyway, in one weekend to travel down to a level 3 and then up to a level 3, you know, on the same weekend, it's just not feasible. So I think that had a big part in why the numbers were low. And you know, shotgun is more of a main discipline here. You know, Action Air, it's got a good following. It is certainly growing. I think it's very fastly growing and getting a lot more interest because people are, you know, they're picking up on it and getting into it. But it's, you know, shotgun, when it comes to shooting, shotgun is, you know, within practical shooting, shotgun is by far the most well attended discipline. And on that note, now YouTube, before you try and take me down for this, if it, you know, content related, this is my bloody content, so chill your beans. The level 3 Welsh shotgun match. Now, annoyingly, I was not able to attend the Welsh Level 3 Shotgun Championships last year. It was one of the few matches that I missed in totality. Well, in totality, one of the very few matches that I missed, and it's certainly Level 3, but absolutely incredible. I mean, like, I really don't like saying this because I know how much time and effort goes into all the other matches, and I don't want to take anything away from the other Level 3s, because they're still incredible matches. That's why we drive all around the country to go and shoot them, because they're all fantastic. But I have to say that if you're going to shoot one Level 3 a year, it has to be the Welsh. From, over the past few years, I've been to a number of different matches, number of different competitions, and what Brian and the team up there at ProShoot are doing is just absolutely incredible. I think it's not necessarily apples to apples, because they have the space. When you look at the likes of like even say Northcotes, Northcotes usually now holds 2 Level 3s, the Coats of Iron, and then I think the East Anglia. Anyway, another championship, which unfortunately I've missed 2 years running, or that match. But the Coats of Irons I shot last year. Whilst they have a lot of space, it's quite a big range. It's bays. It's quite limited. It's limited to some extent to the ranges that they have. Like Llanbradach is a coal slag tip, right? It's just a huge, like, have I got the drone footage of it? I'm not even going to try and start up Final Cut Pro. My Mac will scream. There will be plenty of videos coming out of it, but it's a massive open plot of land with huge natural backstops. So the stages that they can do, it's by far has one of the longest rundown stages of any Level 3 in the UK that I've seen, because of they call it the V range, because it's almost like this canyon, and you can shoot 110 degrees. Normally 90 are the maximum angles that you're likely to see at a match. And being able to shoot at 100, no, is it 110 or 100 degrees? But being able to comfortably shoot on the 90, because you're running down and there's targets left, right, and then you normally get to the end and there's loads of further distance targets. Yeah, it's just absolutely incredible. And the other added bonus, and it's sort of a bit weird, is that Brian gets resetting teams, right? So as a competitor, usually you're resetting the targets, right? After, during your squad, once someone's shot, if you're not shooting, you go and reset. Well, as part of the entry fee, it covers resetters. So you're able to really just focus on the shooting and really enjoy the squad, have a bit more chat, have a bit more enjoyment. So yeah, like a huge props to the ProShoot team. You are incredibly lucky with the range that you have, but you are making the most of it. And from what I've seen, is they're not resting on anything. They are continuously pushing. I spent a lot of time talking to Brian, who owns and runs the range, and they've got some huge plans there. So yeah, again, I will still go to every Level 3 in the country, and every single one of them is enjoyable. I've never been to a bad Level 3 because of the amount of effort and dedication that it takes to run one, and what people put in. The Welsh mini rifle last year and the shotgun this year, if you had to pick one to go to, I would say go to the Welsh. I don't know if you guys saw it. As you can probably tell, I'm pretty happy about this one stage, and I know a match isn't won on a single stage. It can certainly be lost on a single stage, though. That's for sure. But this is actually. This is in no way a representation of Llanbradach and the ProShoot range, because it's actually a fairly small stage. But this was, I think, stage 8, which I absolutely spanked. Like even the RO, when like unload and show cleared, they were like, "How did you just do that?" oh yeah, because of course I'm shooting a 2+1 just to add, and yeah, I was 1.5 seconds off of the overall fastest time, and I had to load twice, whereas all the other shooters not using a 2+1 were able to shoot it without loading. It was a very good stage for a 2+1 because there was moving and allowed you to get that loading as you were moving as well. And I also a big shout out to Bowman Traps. They actually sponsored the match and provided those traps to ProShoot for future matches as well. So I did sort of say, and I'm really sorry if this does end up happening, but I did say to Brian, you reckon you could use those with mini rifle? And he's sort of like, I don't see any reason why not. I would just love the challenge of trying to shoot a flung clay with a mini rifle. I think it would be absolutely epic, and I think it would really add something to it. So yes, incredible match. But shotgun, that it was very well attended. There's a lot more people that are shooting shotgun, which is part of the reason that the Action Air has didn't go ahead, unfortunately. Challenging Big Brother will get you banned these days. I'm not challenging, I'm just giving an alternative point of view, which is factual. I don't know why Canada is banning handguns. Canadian firearms law already heavily regulated the ownership and use of handguns. Well, yeah, that's the thing, is Canadians have, from what I understand it, a very similar system to us, which is a license application process, probational periods, and they take it one step further as well. Like, technically we have a 2-tiered licensing system for sporting use, which is either section 1, which is firearms, or section 2, which is shotguns. But as far as I understand it, Canada has like 3 levels of licensing, and it's something like bolt action rifles and shotguns on one, and then it's like handguns on another, and then it used to be like I guess AR-15s and like higher capacity shotguns. But don't quote me on that. I think that's just a rough like example of how it works. So yeah, very there's a lot of processes involved in getting a gun in Canada, which normally means that the people that have them are actually pretty stable, normal, law-abiding people. As we all know, banning a particular type of gun has no effect. It has absolutely no effect. People that are crazy are going to do crazy things, right? Whether that's with a gun or a lorry or a car or a knife. They are going to try and find a way to do what they want to do. And it doesn't matter to them whether they have a handgun or they have an AR-15 or they have a shotgun, or even an air rifle, right? They're going to still, if they can go and get the gun. I've always been of a point of view that, you look at the person, right? If you're going to have some sort of gun control, right, be that licensing, interviews, stuff like that, like we have here, make it all about the person. Don't spend time having this differential between a section 2 and a section 1, and you can own this but you can't own that, and you need a slot for that, but we'll only give you a 223 and we won't give you a 308. It's like, no, cut the bollocks, right? Is the person fit enough to own one gun? Yes. Well, then it doesn't matter how many more he has or they have, right? You've only got 2 hands and you can only carry so many guns and ammunition. It doesn't matter how many guns you have. Somebody can go and do something absolutely horrific with one gun, and they can do equally with 100 guns. So make it about the person. Look at the person in detail. Interview them if you have to. Check with their doctors if you want to. Install a probational period at a club. Those are the things that I think works. I can't categorically say, but when you start focusing on particular types of guns and particular firearms, that's when you've lost the plot. That's when you're not going to achieve anything. You're going to end up wasting a shitload of time and money and not achieve anything. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it anyway. Daniel, he used to stream to Grindr. Yes, well, unlike you, at least I don't have it installed on my phone. Daniel swiftly deletes. Adam, you are being punished by YouTube for talking about guns on Her Majesty's Royal Jobs. Jobs. Majesty Royal Jubes. Don't you know what day it is? Yes, I do. And there is only one photo that should be shown across the world for her Jubilee. And that is this one. If you haven't seen this photo before, like, I genuinely want this as a poster. And this was at Bisley, right? For those of you who don't know, I think this was on, I think this is Century. I mean, you know, Crown exemption for shooting a Section 5. Like, where's your Crown exemption? I am the Crown. Oh, okay, ma'am. As you were. I mean, you know, that's probably why I would never be king. But if I was, you know, if I was the monarch, I'd be like, why is it in this stupid bloody jig? Give it to me. Just take it out of there and let me shoot the thing. But yeah, that should be the Jubilee celebration video. Just Lizzie doing her thing. But yes, on that note, a very happy 70 years. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily that we're talking guns. There is this general conspiracy that YouTube hates guns and hates gun YouTube content and stuff like that. I really don't think that is the case. When you start, you know, I think I approach these topics fairly sensitively, and I think I approach them like sensitively and sensibly, right? Just because something is horrific and some may think it's controversial to discuss, doesn't mean that we shouldn't discuss it or talk about it. Like, it's happened, right? Let's look at what's happened. Let's talk about what's happened, and let's try and learn from it, right? Maybe if people tried and learned from what had happened, we wouldn't keep happening them. We wouldn't keep happening them. We wouldn't keep having them, right? And if politicians didn't keep going for the easy win and banning guns, or banning particular types of guns, which has never been shown to work ever, then maybe we will find actually a solution that does prevent these shootings, you know. And the biggest elephant in the room when it comes to these things is mental health, right? It's, you know, these people are, like, by definition, are crazy to go and do something like that. Yes, there are cases where people snap, you know, right? But you don't snap and go and kill 20 odd people, right? There's a build up there, right? There's a history, and every single one that you look at, you never see a picture. And of course, you know, the media plasters their pictures everywhere. You never see a picture of somebody responsible for these shootings and go, well, he looks like a normal chap, you know. And I know it's this thing about, it's very easy to say they look crazy after the fact. Yeah, like, okay, maybe a few, maybe the odd one you'd walk past in the street and not give a second look at, right? But the majority of them, if I saw them walking down the street, I'd be giving them a wide berth. Right, I'd be, you know, just like our human shield to the fiance, like, and that's what I mean. It's like, it's mental health, right? Mental health. If you want, if they took like 10% of the effort on banning guns and put it into mental health resources, I think that would have a far bigger effect than banning all the guns, you know, across the world, right? And, you know, as we were saying before YouTube took me down, is the, you know, the biggest, other than mental health, I think the biggest compounding issue every single time is the media. And I know for anyone that was watching the previous one, I know this is going to be a repeat, but for anybody now watching this one, for those of you that don't know, the last one got taken down. But the media, I think, has one of, if not the biggest impacts, or certainly creates the biggest draw for people to go and do these things. If you were to ban the media's ability, you know, just like worldwide, right? All of the heads of countries got together and said, we are going to ban newspapers, any news outlet, YouTube channels, anybody from mentioning people that commit these atrocities, right? The people, you know, you're not allowed to show photos of them, you're not allowed to mention their name. They will be wiped from history, right? And phrase it like that, you know, make it the wipe from history law, that if you go and commit one of these acts, we will delete your birth certificate, we will delete your entire social media presence, no news outlets will mention your name, there will be no photos of you, you will be erased, right? Watch overnight these atrocities stop. Probably not completely, but certainly reduce. What I was saying earlier is that these are strange, lonely, deranged individuals, right? What they are seeking is immortality. They are seeking, you know, to be immortalized. And what happens every time after a shooting? They get their own Wikipedia page. Their image and name are flashed across the world within minutes, right? And literally after Plymouth, it took less than an hour, 2 hours until somebody sent me the Facebook profile of the guy responsible, right? It travels like wildfire. And whether these people are dead or alive, whether they make it through or not, what they are craving is that attention. They are craving that ability to be known forever, to have their own Wikipedia page for everybody to know their name. If you remove that rather than the gun, and watch how big an effect it has. But anyway, I know that's repetitive for anybody that watched it earlier. Dan, I'm not tempting fate tonight. Let's not tempt fate tonight and just keep the chat chilled. But you swing that ban hammer like a motherfucker. Like, somebody just has to, you know, like, just start muttering, ban, you know, like, ban. I need to buy you a ban hammer. I wish there was like an emoji for it. Alan Westlake is in Salisbury, only up the road from us. I thought he was up north. I genuinely thought he was up north. If he's in Salisbury, I should really drop the guy an email and see if I can go and visit. I'd love to document like what he does. It's absolutely incredible. SWP have had my application since January, and I've been told to wait, starting to feel like it's personal. You know nothing. When was it? August? No, not August. October 2020 is when I got my application in. Yeah. So it's been now, or was it 2019? I've literally lost count of the years of when I put my application in. But there we go. So I don't feel too bad. Like, January, like, I would have taken January to now. Like, I honestly would have. Have they banned handguns for personal protection in Ireland yet? No. Ireland, you can still own a handgun for personal protection. So I believe that it was sort of intended Where I've spent a bit more time over in Northern Ireland, I pick up little nuggets, but again, I'm no oracle or authority on it. But from what I understand, it was introduced for police and military, off-duty police and military personnel, and then it sort of spread. So basically, you still have to be able to demonstrate in some way that there is a sort of a genuine threat to your life, or that you would be targeted, or somebody is targeting you. You can't just go up to them and say, I want a personal protection weapon, give me one. You have to be able to justify it and I think demonstrate it in some way, but it's still very much open. The other thing that I heard actually from Mike Lindsay is that when you have a personal protection weapon, you are not allowed to tell anybody, right? Apart from your spouse and all that, but you're not allowed to advertise it. You talk about it, like if like certainly posting about it on social media. It's meant to be kept on the down low, basically. But yeah, personal protections, pistols in Northern Ireland still very much legal. I got a ban on my VZ58 and my Southern guns 9mm. Did it make a difference to crime reduction? Guess not. But the thing is, it would never have made a difference in crime reduction because they had never been used in crime. Like, I just wait for it. Fucking wait for it. In a few years' time, they'll go, oh, look, the offensive weapons bill was such a success when it came to the guns because there have been no crimes committed with Mars or, VZ58s or lever releases since. And the entire firearms community is just going to, simultaneously implode. So yeah, it's pretty hard to reduce gun crime lower than none. Right? But no, it made absolutely no difference because it wouldn't, because they weren't being targeted by criminals. It's just, anyway. War is Hell. Hey Callum, how popular are AKs chambered in 2.2 in the UK? As a tech gamer would say, rare as steak. Rare as steak. They are, yeah. There were a couple. The only one I have ever seen in 2.2 was in William Evans. I loved going to William Evans at Bisley because it was like a treasure trove. Yes, they were sort of fine English shotgun makers and, for the game shooting, genteel and all that. But then you'd walk in there and there'd be Bretta 1301s, you'd have MMP 1522s, EOTech optics, Vortec optics, and they had a 2.2 semi-auto AK. I think that actually was a VZ, but yeah, it was chambered in 2.2 LR, and we were like, oh, that's cool. How much is it? And he was like, oh, it's not for sale. And we sort of had we had a really good relationship with the guy. And we're like, oh, it's one of those, is it? It's just there to tease. And he goes, no, it's not. It's not there to tease. If you really want it, you can have it. But I'm gonna warn you, the thing doesn't work. It's like you can't get more than 1 or 2 rounds off without the thing malfunctioning or jamming. So that was the only one that I've ever seen. I've seen a straight pull AK. I can't remember what that was chambered in, but probably 54 by 39. But it's they're not popular. I would imagine they would be popular, but there's certainly not a lot of options available. I tell you what is the most popular variant of AK here, and what you see a fair amount of is AK variant shotguns. So like the Mollett Vepers, even the Armsan RSS1, the Dissident Arms KL12, there's the Sega as well, all AK shotguns. They're all AK variant shotguns. Obviously, I spend a lot of time around practical shotgun, but those are supremely popular for open guns. They're sort of the only ones that tend to really work. So yeah, but in terms of 2.2 LR, in terms of centerfire calibers, very, very rare. The only time I've seen a straight pull one, actually, the guy ended up with a Hello Kitty plaster, which was quite funny. He So it's a straight pull, right? So it's not like you can have very much fun with it, with the stock folded, but it had a folding stock. And this guy, it was during a club shoot at Bisley, and this guy was looking to buy it, and he was, you know, putting it through his paces, having a few shots with it, checking that everything worked, and he was like, right, now I want to shoot it with the stock closed. And they're all looking at him like, really? Why? I just want to try it with the stock collapsed. Okay, then collapses the stock, and I'm pretty sure it was the scope. It might have even been the stock plate, but the guy scoped himself pretty severely. And unfortunately, I missed the point in which it actually happened. But we ended up coming back to the range to find this guy being given first aid, and the only plasters they had available were Hello Kitty ones. If there's any sort of encouragement never to scope yourself, it's Hello Kitty plasters. I don't think the guy ended up buying the rifle in the end. I think he was probably a little put off by it. Skin Paul Shanks, 8 months since my babies were taken away, all because of a false allegation from a disgruntled colleague. I'm very, very sorry to hear that. Obviously, I can relate quite a lot. I know what that it's like going through. I mean, I know I'm not the best example in terms of don't worry, you'll get them back eventually. But you'll get them back eventually. That's what I keep telling myself every night as I cry into a hanky. Multiple purposes. But yeah, I'm sorry. It's that is one of the things that really, like, I get the firearms licensing. I support the checks and balances. If there's a genuine concern of somebody's, you know, mental well-being, their fitness to operate a firearm, although if they're taking away a gun license, maybe they should take away a car license as well. But anyway, yeah, false allegations. That's the thing that I'm like, okay, if somebody has a, you know, if it's of, how do you know something's false until it's been investigated? And do you take the risk of waiting to take the guns until it's all being investigated? But there is a huge amount of presumed validity given to any accusation made against a firearms owner. And it does take, in my mind, a disgusting amount of time to clarify things. And you know what I've seen many times, and what I've seen myself personally, is that the false allegation starts the ball rolling, and whether you have it revoked or whether you have it, you know, you voluntarily surrender your firearms, you know, they start really looking into every other little thing, and then they put together this massively negative picture that is ultimately, like, everything else that they've picked up wasn't a problem, right? But it's all underpinned by this allegation, an allegation that has, you know, in some cases been proven to be false, but the allegation has happened, and it's like they put everything together and they shit sandwich it and they throw it at you, and it's like, but hang on, but that allegation's false, right? But that's your underpinning of your whole thing of taking away the firearms, and it's false. We know it's false. Like, it's been proven, right? But you're still giving it with validity. Oh yeah, but better safe than sorry. And those are the situations where, as a firearms owner, you feel very much like you are guilty until proven innocent. And if there was something, you know, again, I very much support the licensing system. I support the checks and balances. But this whole thing, this whole culture at the moment where anybody can just phone up the police, make an allegation, and they will immediately use that against you. They don't even check the validity of it. And that's what I would like to maybe see tweaked, and maybe addressed and changed to some extent. Tech Gamer, are you now stream? Are you streaming on Fridays? No. I tend to be streaming whenever I've got a free evening. There was a family gathering last night, so I wasn't able to do it last night. I'm still aiming for 8:30 every Thursday. So obviously we changed it from 7:30 to 8:30 to give me a bit more time so that I could do streams. But yeah, should still be Thursday. So Thursday is still a pretty good day, because like usually Friday I might have something on. It just happened, with the bank holiday. I'm sure if it wasn't a bank holiday, what we did last night would have been tonight, and I would have still done the stream. So it's still going to be Thursdays. And I have toyed with the idea of sort of doing it ad hoc. But I don't know. YouTube likes regularity, although obviously doesn't like me very much at the moment. But it likes regularity, and I think you guys like regularity. Which night is live stream night, whether you can make it there or not. If you're at home and it's a Thursday, it's like, okay, well, it's going to be live stream night. I'll tune in. I thought about maybe switching it to ad hoc and just saying there will be a live stream every week, and sort of fitting it in with the week. But we'll see how it goes. I've spent a lot of time away recently, with the States and the matches, and the Welsh match was different. Is that we don't usually head up Thursday nights. Usually it's head up on a Friday. So there's just been a lot of things over the last couple of months that have just royally got in the way in some ways of the live streams. But it should get better. The matches from now on are purely Saturday, Sunday, apart from the Yveley level 3, which is on Friday, but I think we're going to travel up in the morning for that. I don't think we're going to be staying over, so it should be more regular now on the Thursday. Andy, Carlos, how much have you missed? Quite a lot. YouTube took my stream down, apparently because of community guidelines. So it's a kick in the dick when they're like, oh, you can appeal this, and you're like, okay, so the half a live stream I did will suddenly be back on the channel so you can go and view it, but you pulled my live stream. Like, you can't unpull it. You can't go back in time and go, here we go, like, have at it. 762 by 39. I said 54. I said 54 by 39. Where did that come from? I'm thinking of Mosin. I'm thinking 762 by 54R, and I just made my own caliber. 54 by 39. Oh, that's gonna kick. 762 by 39 AKs are more popular here. You have straight pull AKs in the UK? Yes. Any centre fire caliber in a straight pull is legal. Why does no one make a straight pull 50 BMG? I have a feeling someone's going to soon. Why hasn't anybody made a straight pull 50 BMG? I mean, other than the fact that it's utterly ridiculous. I mean, the Americans are making full auto deagles, and we're getting excited about straight pull Barretts. Like, different levels, isn't it? Urban Space Monkey, I think yours was 2019 because I put mine in October 2020, and you were already making videos about the process then. Don't take when I made video. Oh yeah, because not all of the videos I think necessarily relate to my application. I know, I've been through the process a few times. I can pull from a lot of experience making those videos, but maybe it was 19. Again, I've lost count. I'm just used to it by this point. Adrian, hi, you did well last week. Hope you found the stages challenging. Any footage yet? Team Pro Shoot. So Aid, yes. Annoyingly, was it this half of the stream or the last half that I showed it? But anyway, I tried. If it was the last stream, like the prior stream that got stopped, I plugged the shit out of Pro Shoot. Really went for it. But yes, I loved the match. The stages were absolutely incredible. My favorite my favorite stage in hindsight is the clay stage, because that was just oh yeah. I don't think I came fourth in division on that. Yeah, so, yeah. But I think my favorite stage overall would have been the long rundown stage. I love running and gunning. Like, I started practical shooting. Okay, I started technically practical shotgun, but you know, I joined KFC and sort of switched over to KFC because they were doing 3-gun. Like, really, when I got really into practical shooting, it was 3-gun. I love running and gunning. I love fast shooting. You know, with 3-gun, it's two shots on target. You don't have the Alpha, Charlie, Delta. Just 2 shots on target. That's a full score. So you shoot quicker. You don't care if it's 2 deltas or Charlie Delta or Alpha Delta, whatever. You just and move on. And that felt like a 3-gun stage, especially with a shotgun. You just hit the target and move, hit the target and move. So yeah, and I said to Brian, I'll be completely honest, I think there was one filler stage. And now for those that like don't know, like a filler stage is like with a level 3, you need a minimum, like I think it's a minimum of 12, might even be 10, but I think it's 12. That's why all the level 3s have 12 stages. And what you'll find in some competitions is that they sort of get to 9 stages and they go, oh shit, we need 3 more stages. And then they sort of create a stage, and it's a bit like meh, but it's a stage, it meets the requirements, and it fills the numbers so that they can get to the 12. Now, I don't think you'd ever have that purposely in Lambradich, because you got the space to be able to run whatever you want to run. But you know, whilst I still enjoyed it, the only one sort of filler stage that I thought was there was the it was the no shoots. It was stage 11. Stage 11. It was the no shoot and plates and two clays. You know, it's just shoot from one position. You know, engage 5 plates, I think it was, and then two clays. But that was still challenging, because you had to make sure you didn't get the no shoots. It was meant to be shot quickly, but it was one of those that you could easily plug a no shoot, and that could make a huge difference to the overall score. So, and then also you're going from these no shoot plates to then these quite far clays. So it was still challenging, and it could have easily have tripped you up. But I think more so other stages, like every other stage had something every stage had something unique about it. There were no 2 stages that felt in any way similar. There were no 2 stages on the same area. So, you know, again, like everything, you know, target presentation was completely different. The topology in some ways was completely different. So every stage has something challenging about it or interesting about it. You know, it's, you know, the clays, right? You know, that whilst that was quite a small stage, and I think in most other matches would have been filler stages, or would have been a filler stage, throwing those clay traps into there really switched clay traps and the door really switched it up. You know, the Cooper tunnel, like it's actually quite rare to see a Cooper tunnel. Not at Lambradich, there seems to be a Cooper tunnel every single Lambradich match, but you know, the Cooper tunnel stage, just having the Cooper tunnel, that's something challenging and interesting. The long rundown stage, well, that's challenging and interesting because you got to run like a motherfucker from one end to the other. Like what else? Oh, the sort of memory stage, the long one where you had all the different apertures. Yeah, so my point is, there was a motorbike and everything. There was like really cool shit. So I don't want to in any way say like, it just felt like you couldn't be asked on that one stage, because the amount of build on some of those. I mean, they built a toilet, for God's sake. They built a public like toilet cubicle for stage furniture. It's absolutely incredible. And again, if I've said it on this one or it's been deleted now by YouTube, not to diminish anybody else that runs a level 3, but it's like it has to be the one to go to. It is the one that I will say you have to go and shoot you can't miss it. And if you're only going to shoot one, shoot whales. And I'm very much looking forward to the mini rifle. But in terms of footage, I'm currently my Mac has got very full. I had to dump all of the footage onto a hard drive. I haven't been able to import it all yet. Because I'm desperately trying to edit the backlog of videos I've had from like the US and other trips as well, to clear space so that I can pull that footage in and start editing it. But it will be out very, very soon. I will be doing the full usual video for that. War is Hell. If you could own a pistol in the UK, which make and model would you choose? See, my default answer for this always used to be a Beretta 92 FS, because I absolutely love the Beretta 92. If you couldn't tell, I don't know if it's particularly clear, but that's Nakatomi Towers, and maybe that makes it clearer. Just make out Die Hard. Huge Die Hard fan. Best Christmas movie. There's no argument there. It is a Christmas movie. There's snow and everything, and a Santa. Ho ho ho. And yeah, it's definitely in my top 5 films, and I think even Die Hard with a Vengeance is in the top 5 films as well. Anyway, I'm a huge Die Hard fan, and I love the movie fact that I also love Lethal Weapon, not to the same extent, but I love the movie fact that the same prop gun, the same gun used in Die Hard, was also the same gun, exact same gun, not make and model, the actual same physical gun used in Lethal Weapon, and it's been used in like loads of other big films and TV series and stuff like that. And it's so cool. Like I love the fact about it, and so that used to be my default answer. But being boring, I would have to look at getting a competition pistol. If I was allowed to have one pistol here in the UK, I'd have to get something that's a competition pistol. And that's actually a very tricky thing. Like, do I go for like a 2011? Probably go for that. Do I go for like a CZ Shadow 2? I've actually started getting away from Glocks. Walther PPQ, Springfield XDM, like that would be, I don't know, probably. The thing is, if we were allowed one pistol, I wouldn't need to have that sort of comparison to the LBP. With the PPQ, I'd be able to have whatever I wanted. I'd still be shooting standard, and I'd probably have to go for a 2011. I'd probably have to be boring, go for a 2011 like race gun. At the end of the day, I switched from, well, that's the 2011. I switched from my Glock Action Air to the 2011 Action Air because for competition it is a better platform overall. Paul and Connors are going to rib me for that, aren't they? But yeah, anyway, on that note, I am going to scootaloo. Before you leave, hit that like button. Apologies for the interruption this evening, and I do really appreciate so many of you coming back and rejoining the stream. I honestly don't know what it was that I did or said. I don't think I've said anything that actually did violate YouTube's community guidelines. At the end of the day, AI is going to pick up certain words and go, oh, when you start talking about shootings and stuff like that, its default reaction is probably going to be to end it. So yeah, again, thank you everyone for coming back. Apologies for the interruption, but I will get that reviewed and hopefully learn a bit from it, and hopefully we'll know how to prevent it in the future. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining this evening. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we will be back live next Thursday, 8:30 p.m. UK time. I'm currently working on the Callaway ballistics video from the States, where you get to see the full, literally the full, like, range brass coming in containers to remanufactured ammunition going out the door process. It's really fascinating. That's in edit at the moment. I'm hoping to get that out over the weekend, and there will be more videos to follow soon, so make sure you subscribe for those. Again, a huge thank you. Hope you have a very jubilant weekend, whether you're here in the UK or abroad, and I hope you all have a fantastic week ahead. But there we go, guys. Thank you very much for joining, and as always, I hope to see you soon.